Hello, welcome to the Journeymen Collective podcast. I am Gary Logan of the Journeymen Collective, and my partner is Robert Grover. We specialize in curating luxurious shamanic journeys for visionaries who yearn to create conscious impact for the whole of humanity and the planet. We empower executives, entrepreneurs, and professionals to connect deeply into self, to amplify their awareness, and to accelerate their conscious vision for life and business and into reality. Today on the Journeymen Collective podcast, we have the honor of speaking with the owner and teacher of Simply Piano. Her approach to tickling the ivories has transformed her life and how she embarks on teaching others what she has learned from her guided journey with the Journeymen Collective approximately 4 years ago. Andrea, thank you for being on the show. Could you provide our listeners with some insight of your background, i.e., where your life was before the Journeymen Collective and where your life is now?
Hey, Gary. Thank you so much, honey, for inviting me on your podcast. I'm thrilled to be here. So, where has my life gone? Oh my God. It's been, in one word, transformative in such a massive way, in my earthly realm, in my conscious being of who I am, as not only as a human being, but also as a spiritual being on this earth, which has just been massive.
Right.
And what you and Rob have done have been my guidance, my protectors, my you were able to read my soul, which is something I had no idea that even existed. I knew about it, but I kind of went, well, what does that actually mean? What does your soul actually mean? Because prior to that, I felt like with the people that were guiding me on my path to create my studio, I understood some very basic fundamentals of how to create from their perspective, which is very, very, very different from my perspective as a creative being as of today.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave me the foundation, they gave me some parameters, but what you guys did is crack me wide open, like literally wide open, to sort of say, no, it doesn't have to be that way. So you shifted my conscious awareness, not only as myself, as a business owner, but who I am on this planet. What is my purpose on this planet? Not just with my teaching element, but so many other elements at the same time. So I cry like, wow, am I blessed? Like so blessed with the things that have happened since that particular time. What I totally love and totally absolutely feel so grateful for is many, many things. But one of the things that I notice is when I'm teaching now, I see, because my instrument happens to be piano, I see an energetic field of an individual and how they connect as their being, not just somebody sitting in front of an instrument with a bunch of dots on a piece of paper. It's how do they actually connect with them through the energy of their hand, and how do we create? How do we create on this instrument? That's all it really is now. Who are they as human beings?
Or your
Yes.
teaching is different than any other teacher out there. I mean, that's like anything that anybody does. Nobody does the same thing the same way. Everybody has their own approach. And I believe, from what I understand, your approach, actually, I've had lessons with you, is totally different than what I expected what a piano teacher would be all about.
Well, thank you, honey.
In a good way, we explored. It was an exploration of sight, sound, feeling, sensation. It wasn't just about reading music and getting the notes and hitting the right key. It was totally
oh my God,
different.
no.
And that's what makes you. You're not simply piano. You're simply piano and a beyond.
Thank you, honey. I'll take that.
Yeah, totally. I think that's what you should put on your new website now. Simply piano and beyond.
And beyond. Well, that's totally what's actually ended up happening. And a lot of people are like, how do you get me? Like, how can you tell when I sit down and I first meet somebody, said, how do you understand who I am? And all I'm really doing is I'm seeing the extension of who they are As they place their hands, which are energy fields, on the instrument, I can tell immediately who they are, how they're feeling that particular day, what's happening with their life that day. And me as a facilitator, because that's basically all I feel like I'm a conduit between that individual and these dots on a piece of paper, because you're right, it's not about the notes, it's not about that. It's an extension of them. It's a creation of them. And all I'm doing is saying, here's where you are today. Here, let's go ahead and bridge some things, understand your soul. I don't refer to them as a soul, but I refer to them as who they are at that particular stage. And how am I helping them to create whatever is yearning in their soul, musically speaking? That's all I really am, which is actually really cool. Like, some of my students cried because they said, how do you possibly know that? And we spend a lot of time hugging and just sort of connecting on a much, much deeper level. And that's only one very small element of the things that I've been grateful since meeting you guys, since my journey with you guys. That's so small. It's very intimate. It's very close. I can also smell energy, so I can sort of say, wow, you're having a really stinky day today. I usually don't say that, but I kind of like, whoa. Like, that's what ends up happening, is you kind of they're going through a difficult time, or they just need that compassion. How are you doing on this particular day? And that hopefully makes them walk away from the experience of, I guess you could say, the law of the feeling of increase, because they enjoy coming to the experience, because they allow to be able to be who they are, aside from just the human being or the human doing, because that's how most people are. They're the human doings, and they forget that they are a human being. And this, as I said, is such a small thing in comparison to my overall general life, how everything else is opened up, and my conscious awareness, downloads that come in. Pretty much everything from my perspective of the existence of my being has completely transformed. And teaching is a very small thing. It's still a big thing, because what they're able to do is shine their light, their individuality, who they are, and can go off into this world and sort of say, wow, how can I be better? How can I be amazing? How can I be my authentic, amazing self? Which in some ways is like me kind of dripping on, the good stuff, to sort of say, you're awesome. And that's the part that's really will help me grow as a teacher, as a human being on this earth. Actually, more of a human being on this earth, more than anything else. And as I said, that's a very, very small thing compared to many, many, many other aspects of my life and where I'm going, which is it's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah. From my understanding, you never had experienced a shamanic journey in the past, correct?
Never.
No. How did we connect? Do you remember?
Oh, I totally remember how we connected. I guess you could say it was divine stepping in and saying, we got to help this Andrea girl, because she's like seeking knowledge. She hears about this spiritual thing. And it just turned out that Rob and I were connected by a particular gentleman. And we just met, coffee shop. I'm from Vancouver, so it was in downtown Vancouver at a Blends Coffee, and we just started talking. Next thing you know, you guys were talking about this thing. I said, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I need, because talking about it and actually doing it and feeling it and actually knowing what you guys do is literally expediting us as human souls to get us where we need to go faster. Because sometimes we can take action over action after action, and you feel like you're almost stuck because you're just doing the same thing. And I'll tell you a quick story, because I love this story, because of what ended up happening. And I loved your message on the journey at that particular time, your message specifically. I have a beautiful kitty. His name is Basil, my Basil bear. And before I went on my journey with you guys, I had my setup beside me on my computer, all the things that I was doing as a good little human doing on this planet. And Basil would come up onto my space where I have my computer and keep on pushing it onto the floor. Like, he would push it onto the floor and I'd pick it up and put it back. And like, okay, Basil, what are you doing? I'm supposed to be doing, because I feel like I'm here. This is the path where I'm going. And so this went on for a while. And one of your specific messages is, what is holding you back? What is preventing you from growing? And I didn't understand that question, not even close. And I kind of went, when I got home, I went, Oh, Basil's message was, you don't need this anymore. So one of the things that I found is I get so stuck. I've got to do it this way. I've got to do it that way. I've got to do it that way. It's got to be done this way because there's no moving around. And Basil's like, no, would you stop doing that? You're preventing yourself from growing. So get rid of this stuff. And that was why I wasn't growing anymore.
Totally. So you were following, and that's not fault to anybody.
No, it's not.
Or direction. This is what you were at this point in time. This is where you were at. And then the actual question I asked you, I still remember this day, is what is it that you are letting get in your way?
That's what it was.
You're going, oh, I have no clue. And then
I have no clue.
Days later, or you text us or called us, you wouldn't effing believe what just happened. I know what's getting in my way. And I'm going, I just could nod. It's like, of course I knew what was getting in your way.
Of course you knew. And that's the brilliance of what you and Rob, what you guys do. Mm-hmm. What you do is you help each one of us as mediums, as a collective, as an essence of who you are, to help us understand us, mm-hmm. to understand who we are as individuals on this earth. And when you're in alignment with the essence and you have self-love and authenticity of the essence of who you are, well, you're basically, you're unlimited. Mm-hmm. And your approach and the way that you go about it, it's honoring who we are. Not somebody who says, you have to do it this way because I've done it this way. And that is a totally different thing. You're right. Up to that point, it was a particular messenger of somebody that I needed at that time. But since that time, well, it's so big. Mm-hmm. It's so loving. It's so, there's joy, compassion, support, all the things that fill us full of love that allow us to be who we truly are. It force negates. Mm-hmm. And what I felt like I was doing was forcing something which is not serving anybody. And most of all, you're hurting yourself because you're trying to force something to happen. And what you and Rob do is you just allow us to be who we are, and you just guide us for who we need to be. And how amazing is that in itself? On such an expansive level that it's just, it truly is a blessing. It totally is. And because you guys come from love, it's huge. It's huge, totally.
On the family thing, I know there was an experience that we went through together, all of us, for you. Are you comfortable sharing that story and
absolutely.
How that evolved?
Absolutely. That's such a profound lesson for me. Thank you for reminding me about that profound moment. So on my particular journey with you guys, my parents had passed away quite a few years ago. So I actually did have a vision of my mom and my dad and this boy, this toddler. And they went, okay, what's up with the toddler? I did not understand it at all. And I ended up seeing my aunt, who was on my mom's side. My mom was a very dark, troubled soul from the time I could remember. She was full of fear. She was full of rage. And so when my aunt and I, we could always understand. She was like one of my favorite people on the planet. So when I talked to her about this, and she goes, you don't know? And I said, what do you mean I don't know? I said, of course I don't know. Because I was going through all these ideas, maybe whatever happened. And she goes, so my mom was born in Poland during World War II. And there was a birth in their family of a baby boy. And this was before my mom was born. The boy died. This toddler died. Some individual took him out and he picked up something terrible. And within a few days, he died. So what ended up happening in my mom's family is her parents were afraid to love unconditionally. So she was raised in a home where fear of opening up to your children to love them unconditionally was blocked. So my mom carried that into her life. So I totally understand it now. I come from a place of compassion because she did not know how to give. She did not know how to receive love at all. And because of that, she was full of toxic energy. As a little girl, I was fearful pretty much every single day. And there was a pivotal moment where I did actually get a chance to talk to my mom at one of my spiritual, I guess you could say, transformative times. And she actually said, "I'm so sorry that I was afraid to love you." Mm-hmm. And I said to my mom, I said, "I forgive you. I have so much compassion for the pain that you were carrying, all those years and decades of pain that happened in your life." And that was so freeing, because that allowed me to remove all the things that kind of happen as a child growing up that you're not even aware. That's the other thing is what you guys do, which is so amazing, is that sometimes people just say suppress. Don't think about it. Well, that is so wrong, because all you're doing is you're hurting yourself. But what you guys actually do is allow us to be able to sort of say, no, don't suppress it. Here's the pain that you've been carrying within yourself. How do you remove it? Mm-hmm. So what I did is I bawled my eyes out. My heart just kind of opened up to this whole new center. And guess what ends up happening is when you remove something, it makes space for something better to come into your life. If you're all clogged up and full of all that shit that's going on, well, you have no space, which means you have no space to bring love into your life. For me, I'm looking for a soulmate. Can you imagine me going through the rest of my life and not making space for my soulmate, for somebody I want to spend my time with? And so that just happens to be one particular example. And man, was that so powerful. Mm-hmm. And I again, that's the things that you guys bring to people's lives, period. Mm-hmm. You just bring it to the surface because you allow us to bring it to the surface, which allows us to remove all of that, which removes this dis-ease. It does. And opens you up to the infinite potential of what you can make space for in your life. Mm-hmm. Like, damn. How amazing is that?
So it's generational trauma we're talking about here. This is your passed down from your mother and her mother. So I remember very clearly that I had an image, we all did, that there was a boy in the room. There was a boy in your journey, and that's how we embarked on it. It's like, okay, so we thought that it was the boy that was there that was lost. We thought it was your mother's child before you. And then you went, we'll just clarify for the listeners, that then you went to visit your mom's sister, who's your aunt, and asked her, did mom have a child and lose it? And then your aunt said, no, but your grandmother did. Your grandmother lost a child before your mom was born. And so that was the whole connector there. It's like you almost fell off your chair, and we almost fell off the chair when you told us the story and how it all went back through a few generations and how that was carried down. Her mother, your mother's fear was in her system when she gave birth to your mother. And then your mother transferred that on to you unknowingly.
Absolutely.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's the part that if you're unaware, then how do you know how to fix it? You're unaware. And that's where, it's transformational. As I said, it's transformational.
Yeah.
It totally is. And that just happens to be one very small thing. And I'm talking small in comparison to where I am to this day. 100%. Yes. Cool. That's so amazing.
Beautiful. Yes, we had some lovely times. And actually, I think you were our first client, weren't you?
I was.
I know. We'll keep it right there. That was brilliant. You were great. You kickstarted our company right off the ground. That was lovely. And
it was amazing. You guys were just exceptional. As I said, you were my caretakers. You took care of me.
Yeah, we did, and but that's, I think we're innately, everybody's supposed to be doing caring for each other and giving.
Yes.
And so we loved creating that space for our clients, for them to rest into self. That's what it comes down to. You have the permission to remove your many masks that you carry on your face.
Yes.
The mother, the father, the daughter, the son, the doctor, the who you're supposed to be, who you weren't supposed to be. You got layers and layers of identities in front of your face. And we give you the permission, just place those at the door, hang them up like a hat, and let's just see who you truly are, or for you to discover who you truly are. We don't tell you anything that you don't already know. We just open up the space for you to release and discover your true purpose, I guess.
It totally is. I mean, anybody, honestly, that is considering that they feel like they're stuck and they feel like they need to wake up from whatever is going on in their life, they need to be with you and Robert. They need to be with you guys, because it's self-love. It's self-love. And what's more powerful than self-love? Yeah. Self-love means so many, many things. And it just does. And the more you have that, the more you can give. The more you're open to receiving, the more you can help the planet, the more you can help individuals, the more you can have compassion for people that are going through a difficult time. And I mean, that in itself is so big. It's so big. And well, I just love you guys. Because you actually learned, you taught me how to actually love myself and be my authentic self.
As I say, just be.
It totally is. Just be.
It's on my running shoes.
So you're running down the street and do you have like a great big bee plastered all over the back of your running shoes?
I'm just being. So if you had to look at the last 4 years of your life, what one major change or shift have you made in your lifestyle and in your world that you could share with us?
I would say in one sentence, what this human being has become is the ethereal connection to the universe.
So you would say you are a creative conduit.
I am.
Who is a simply piano and beyond a creative conduit.
Well, the funny thing is now I've created a new company because the piano is great for now, but I've created an AC Biederman enterprise.
Right.
Is going to hit the globe because of what I'm kind of learning and growing and all these different types of things as you create. So yes, I am the creator on this earth, and right now this is where I'm at. But universe is dripping on me saying, this is where you're going. This is the actions you need to take, which is so amazing with the downloads. Yeah. And then you know where you're supposed to go. Like, can you imagine having a compass, which is your heart, and the universe and the spiritual guys saying, you need to go here. And you're like, oh, thank you so much for your love. And you just go take that action because you know it's divinely decreed. And to be able to be patient, to be kind, to be loving, to be compassionate with the path that you're supposed to lead. And even that in itself, when you're looking at somebody else's life, have compassion. Have compassion for what they're going through. And because of that, you can be in love with not only yourself, but wherever your love is supposed to be with that particular, wherever you're supposed to be, period.
Perfect. Beautiful. Beautiful. This was an amazing time. I thank you again,
You're
Andrea.
amazing, man. man.
Uh,
Amazing human being.
and advice to our listeners if they are interested in embarking on a guided shamanic journey with the Journeyman Collective?
2 words. Do it.
And it's
Do not
funny.
hesitate.
Every client I ask that question, they
Yes.
say it. Just do it.
Do it. Don't hesitate.
Yeah.
Don't hesitate. Do it. Period.
Yeah.
It's
Would you say
self-love.
it's more than going on a shamanic journey? It's
Oh my
more
God.
a guided experience of the medicine of Rob and Gary and the psilocybin that we use. Is like it's a lot more than it's a bigger personal development program.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
that is being offered right at the moment. I mean, I may
I
be
totally agree.
biased, but
No, you should be, because it absolutely should be that way, because you guys are exceptional. It's like you saying piano teacher. What did you call me? Piano teacher and beyond.
Yes.
So you guys are the Journeymen Collective and beyond.
Yeah.
For every human being, just do it.
Brilliant. And we will, and they will too. Excellent.
Yay!
Thank you so much. To find out more about the Journeyman Collective and to hear more testimonials, please visit our website, the www.thejourneymancollective.com. We're on Facebook and Instagram, the Journeyman Collective. Andrea, do you have a website that you want to share with our listeners?
Not at this time.
Okay, great.
No, I'm good.
Okay, just stay tuned, I guess.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's AC
Okay.
Peterman Enterprises. It's on its way.
Brilliant. We look forward to it. And again, thank you for your love and your energy and your beauty. Thank you.
So much love. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.